Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Earth 2 issue 20. And before I start talking about this issue, just want to give you guys a little update. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 34 on Comic Frontline this week, and Comic Frontline's launch is this coming week on Tuesday with a big live show. We got guests coming, we got a big show for you guys, so be sure to watch the live show and the big launch for Comic Frontline, and be sure to subscribe, and we'll have obviously the live show for Comic Frontline every Tuesday, just like we did for DarkAvengerINC. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll be annotated. And of course to watch Comic Uno episode 34. That's the show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show, and here are those exclusive comics. We got Lazarus issue 6, Sidekick issue 5, Trillium issue 6. Then we got Superior Foes of Spider-Man issue 8. So if you want to go check out those reviews, definitely go to Comic Uno episode 34, which will be annotated. But let's talk about Earth 2 issue 20. Let's talk about the cover. Really like the cover. I know this is Jay Lee's art, but I actually do like Jay Lee's art when it is for covers. I don't think it worked for Superman, Batman. It works for other titles, and I think it worked here. You know, I would not want to see Earth 2 have interior art like this, but I think it works as a cover. So I really like Jay Lee's art for the cover, and I really love the annual last week for Earth 2. It was actually my pick of the week last week. So let's see if Earth 2 issue 20 was my pick of the week this week. Okay, so in this issue we get to see really where we left off from Earth 2 Annual, where Thomas Wayne is explaining his origin story, and now he's teaming up with Hawkgirl, Aquawoman to defeat the dragon-type people who are working with Darkseid, and to try to save the Kryptonian, because that's really their only hope, is a Kryptonian. And we find out that I can't think of his actual name. I'm just going to call him the Kryptonian for now. But we find out that he's afraid of big spaces because he's always been in small spaces. He was in a small space to go to Earth. He is held in that cell all his life. So he's really scared of big places. So he's really frightened. He's getting a panic attack. And Lois is really the only one to calm him down, saying, you know, this is not Superman. This is not where you're from. This is not the guy that I loved. And she explains her whole story. This is someone else, and you have to help us. And he's like, yeah, you know what, you're right. So he goes into the light, and he says, I'm ready. So this is going to help him charge up, because he was scared to have that much power, because he's like, how if I turn to Darkseid? He's like, no, you wouldn't turn to Darkseid. And that's the best way, is Lois talking to him. This was such a great issue. It was very close to being my pick of the week. It didn't quite make it, but it was such a good issue. I think I couldn't give this 5 stars because the story doesn't totally progress. It doesn't. But I love the character moments here, and I think that's what Tom Taylor is great at doing. And in Justice, he did a great job there too with character moments. And this issue has a plethora of character moments. We have a character moment from Aquawoman where she just gets water from the sky, and she just was awesome, had a lot of action here. And she's like, I'm going back to the water, but if you need to call me, here's a conch shell. So I'm sure we're going to see Aquawoman again. So we had a great moment with her, with some great action. And I think my favorite moment has to be with Lois and the Kryptonian, and her describing her husband, and her describing like what it feels to be a robot. Is like, I died, but I don't remember dying. I remember my old life, and now I'm in this robot body. So there are those great moments there, and I think that's why this was almost my pick of the week, and why I gave this such a high grade, because there are so many great moments. Yes, the story doesn't really progress, and with Earth 2 it hasn't really progressed in a while, so that's why I can't give it 5 stars, because there's no shocking moment in this issue that I'm like, oh my god, this is pick of the week. But yeah, this was still a really good issue that I recommend, and this series has just been getting better and better, and I'm sure as issues go on it will become my pick of the week, just like last week with Earth 2 Annual, because again, this was very close to being my pick of the week. Great art, great story, and again, my favorite scene had to be with Lois and the Kryptonian. Really great. So if you're not reading Earth 2, it's such an underrated, under the radar series right now. Pick it up. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rant Situations. And don't forget to like my Facebook page. I give this 4.5 stars, 4.5, and hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.